No, I am sitting. I'd like to call the meeting to order, please. Thank you all for coming. Kathy, would you mind leading us in the pledge?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We're dedicating this meeting tonight to the flood victims in Texas. And all I would ask is that we take a moment of silence. Thank you. Rita, the roll call, please.
Wendy Burton.
Yes.
Julia Dakota.
Here.
Eric Hames.
Present.
Nathan LaVirtue.
Yes.
Teddy Secor.
Here.
I make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second it.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Liaison Reports. Teddy.
So there was no ZBA meeting this month, and there was no Haunted Fortress meeting this month. We will have I know it's a really short report. We will be having the Climate Smart Communities Task Force meeting, though, and the biggest piece of information coming out of that is that anybody who picked up one of the composting bins, we will be sending out a follow-up sort of form to see kind of what people thought of it. Should we do something like that again in the future?
And there are at least 2 more composting workshops coming up. And I think Duffy may also be doing one.
Yes.
We just don't have a date for that.
Not yet, yeah. So we'll have more on that at next month's meeting.
That's great.
Yep.
Thank you.
That's my reports.
Derek.
Well, my report will not be short. The planning board had a very long and busy meeting on June 25th. There was supposed to be a public hearing for the Ben Rathjen matter at 6102 Route 82 in Stanfordville for the construction of 2 pole barns for office space and storage for outdoor retail space. That was pushed back to July 30th, so later this month. There was a public hearing on a special use permit and site plan approval for the Millbrook School at 131 Millbrook School Drive. It's an addition of a 10,000 square foot boys dormitory. The public hearing occurred. It closed. There was only one comment that was really a clarification question about the gate, whether the gate would be locked to the road, to the dorm when not in use, and the answer was yes. Under business, the special use permit, site plan approval for the Millbrook School. There was a seeker type 1 negative declaration. There was a resolution by the planning board, and the resolution passed. So the special use permit and site plan has been approved. Next item of business was a lot line alteration and consolidation at 244, 248, and 277 Market Lane in Stanfordville. This is 3 lots with no planned development. It was classified by the planning board as a minor subdivision, and it passed. There's no Secor review. There will be a public hearing on this matter on July 30th. Next item of business was a lot line alteration and consolidation at 27, 33, and 45 Barton Lane in Stanfordville. This is 4 lot consolidation and alteration to get rid of smaller lots and better separate from ag. There was a motion to classify as a minor subdivision, which was adopted. There'll be a public hearing on this matter on July 30th. Next item of business was a special use permit change of use at 5886 Route 82 in Stanfordville. This is an installation of a 6-foot commercial kitchen. This is in the Gulf gas station with a kitchen hood inside. The planning board took no action. They decided this was really a matter for the Department of Health approval only. Next item of business was a special use permit and site plan approval at 6030 Route 82 in Stanfordville. This is going to be a physical therapy office in the existing laundromat building. This has to do with parking, number of parking spaces. The planning board classified it as and it's a type 2 action, no seeker. There's going to be a public hearing on this physical therapy office in the laundromat on July 30th as well. There was one pre-application conference. This is for a special use permit at 110 Top of the Hill Road in Stanfordville. The planning board determined that they don't need a special use permit and that they only needed the building inspector to come out and take a look at the property. And that concludes my report.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, well, I'm going to direct some of my Recreation Committee reports to you and some to the public. No, it will be a mix. So for folks that may or may not know, they have summer camp for the first time here. This is week 1. It's going well. They've only had one individual vomit so far, so likely due to the extreme heat earlier in the week. So, but it's been going well, and everyone's very happy with it so far. There was a discussion about the water safety instructors from lifeguards for next year, but we'll talk about that in the budget meeting. There was also a discussion about the recreation fund campaign, which I think we're going to talk about later as well. For folks that don't know, there's a tree that's really sick. There's not a lot of shade down by the water. The Recreation Commission has approval to gain funds through Senator Hinchey. Those funds have not come in yet. So because the funds haven't come in, they can't secure the sunshades. So they're not sure that they're going to be able to get them in time for this season, but they're still working through the process.
Well, we have funding in the
Yeah, I thought we were
campaign.
going to pay for it out of the rec campaign.
That's not what Luana wanted to use that money for. So
Well,
we can reconnect with her, but
yeah.
the other thing is that people have been bringing their own coverage anyways.
Right.
So it hasn't been a huge issue. They talked about what they're going to do for Community Day. So it's for young kids, but also, I will say, young-minded adults as well. They're going to have a passport, and so if you go to all the booths at Community Day, you can collect all the stamps, and if you collect all the stamps, you can get a free ice cream.
Oh, boy. From Stewart's or from Big Rock?
TBD, but Big Rock was thinking about it. They are also planning to do a town-wide scavenger hunt. This will probably culminate at the Parade of Lights in December, but they want to announce it at Community Day, so it will be several weeks, months long. They're still working out the details of that. They did announce that they're going to do Trunk or Treat. That will be on October 24th from 5 to 6:30. They're also planning to do a candy drive to support more trunks because if folks are not going to remember this, my report from a year ago, but there were over 200 kids that showed up.
It was packed.
So there were a lot of kids, and
Not enough candy?
people were running out of candy. So they're going to try to do a candy drive so that people don't have to go and get candy, but they can just show up and throw some candy in their trunk. And then lastly, they are going to do a fall soccer program. Ages are TBD right now, but the registration will begin early next month.
What did you say was our TBD? What?
Registration.
The age group.
Oh, age, okay.
Yeah, so they're having a discussion on what is the age group that they want to do for this year.
Got it.
That's it.
Are you ready?
I'm ready. Okay, sorry. So the CAC met last month, June 18th, and presented a draft of the natural resources inventory. For those of you who didn't have a chance to go to the presentation, the draft will be available soon. It will be posted to the website. It's fabulous. Basically what it does is it gives an overview of the history, climate, topography, local ecosystems, wildlife, water, which we'll dovetail into shortly, and sort of a state of the town in terms of what the natural resources inventory looks like in our town. And this is updated every few years, and it serves as a fundamental foundational document for the town to use in planning processes. There will be recommendations that come from the CAC to the Zoning Commission, to the Planning Board, to the Zoning Board of Appeals, in how they can best utilize this document. Their best practices from other towns in the area in terms of partnership with the CAC and the planning boards. And those recommendations will be made once the document is published. I thought most interestingly was the excerpt on climate and the changes in climate in our area in terms of increase in temperature and increase in precipitation. But the good news is that our ecosystem is such that we have forests, significant amount of wetlands, and lots of hills. Well, that's great because it helps runoff, and the wetlands help the water to reabsorb into our natural water system. But the increase in rainfall and some of these steep slopes can also be problematic. So just really interesting to think about in the context of how we think about what this town is going to look like in the next 20 to 30 years. So when it becomes available, I would recommend everyone take a read. It's absolutely fantastic. And
I think there's a hard copy in Rita's office, but the whole PDF or whatever it's going to be with the maps isn't quite ready to.
Correct. Yeah. But anyway, they've done a tremendous job, the CAC, and I want to commend them. The room was actually pretty packed of people that were interested in reading it, so I was very heartened to see that. The next, we're going to talk about, we'll talk about rec campaign later. Yeah, okay.
Okay, thank you. Okay. I want to first thank the Stanford A Caring Community and the Dutchess County Human Rights Commission for hosting. We had an event, it wasn't last Sunday, it was the Sunday before at Town Hall, that was called 100 Cups of Coffee. And the whole raison d'etre for the 100 Cups of Coffee is to get people together to talk about issues. It was a wonderful experience. Unfortunately, there were many of us who already knew each other, and so in a way it would have been nicer if there were more people that didn't know each other, just to get different points of view. But in any case, it was a wonderful afternoon, and we ended up having a group discussion on community building events, such as the enormously successful rec build, which was a year ago, which was done with zero tax dollars and a whole lot of elbow grease from people of this community and grant money. And then smaller projects like the community garden. But the big focus was, what can we do for our kids? What can we do for people coming up? What can we do to try to get kids who grew up here to stay here? How can we be more welcoming to young families? And that's a really heavy list, because there's just so much we can do in our town, but that won't stop us from trying to come up with some new ideas. So that was great. We're about to launch our water quality committee, which Julia has taken the lead on. That fulfills the recommendation from the comprehensive plan. Obviously, clean water and protected aquifers are deeply important to the community, and I'm proud that we're taking action. This hasn't been done for over 20 years.
It was last formed in 1992. Yeah.
So, I want to thank Julia for taking the initiative on that. I had a meeting with State Senator Michelle Hinchy on Tuesday in Town Hall, and Assistant Fire Chief Dennis Buchall joined us. We discussed the awful and dangerous condition of Route 82 coming up from Route 44 and other parts of it, as well as the New York State DOT still not responding to our request to lower the speed limit going through town, which has been a decade-long, more than decade-long enterprise. The state 2025-2026 budget has already been passed, and the Assembly is not in session until January. And we didn't, there was no money set aside for capital project funding for our stretch of Route 82, but Nathan actually started the initiative. We contacted Assemblywoman Dee Dee Barrett and Michelle Hinchy, and they both believe they can get Route 82 on the state's DOT capital plan for the following year, which is 26-27, I guess. There's also a possibility, because the state has been utterly non-responsive to the requests that have come for years to lower the speed limit. We're investigating, the town may be able to pass a resolution, I guess, asking the legislature, the state legislature, to get involved to allow us, well, to get the speed limit changed, even though it's a state road. Michelle Hinchy thought that was a real possibility. We may have to wait. She was going to clarify if we had to wait until January to do it or if we could do it sooner. But it would just be wonderful if we could slow it down. We've taken on many.
Just add to that.
Oh, sure.
Just want to add that also county legislature Chris Drago was heavily involved in this as well. So he has recognition.
Yes, thank you. And you. We've taken on a lot of capital projects over the past 6 years just to improve our infrastructure in the town. There's a lot that we've kept up with, or actually not even kept up with, but just retrieved from disarray. And right now, if anybody knows of a contractor who could go up on our roof and just tell us the state of the roof, I would really appreciate it. We're trying to, our warranty runs out in a year, and I just want to find out if there's anything amiss before the warranty runs out. But we will, if nobody comes forth, we'll find somebody to do it.
You just need someone to do an examination and not
That's
do the work?
Well, we don't know if there's any work yet. I just, at the moment, want to know the state of the roof.
So we need a
Do they-
roofer.
Do they need to be a New York State resident?
To get up on the roof? No.
Okay.
No.
It's a good question. Insurance, right?
The zoning commission met with our consulting firm, SLR and Nina Peak, and we signed off on the restructuring of the zoning code just to make it more user-friendly. It wasn't, I mean, we've been working on laws, as I think some of you know, but this was just basically, Kathy, you weren't there. It's basically just a restructuring of the way things are presented that made more sense than the way it is now. So we're going to meet with her again, either this month or that next month, and she's going to be diving into some of the laws that we haven't addressed yet, and then the work will just continue. I think we've tackled the priority issues that were highlighted, or we're in the process of tackling the priority issues that were highlighted in the comprehensive plan. As a side note, to those of you who are here for the first time, New York State encourages municipalities to revise the comprehensive plan every 10 years. Having a forward vision to how to caretake the municipality is a deeply important principle while navigating what happens in our town. And this had not been done in Stanford for 40 years. It was basically a 4-year process for us, for different parts of us. And we began it during COVID to bring this to fruition. Many public hearings were held and many changes were made to the plan before it passed a year ago December. This hopefully explains why we're bringing new legislation to the town as part of the task of updating our conflicting and out-of-date zoning code. Our zoning code wasn't written for Stanford. It was basically lifted full cloth from, I think, a town in Westchester and just adopted in the 80s. So the revision of the code is something both the ZBA and the planning board have been asking for years, and we're slowly doing that duty. As far as the financial reports, I gave you all 2 payroll verification sheets as well as the June supervisor's report and bank reconciliation. We're still maintaining our budget objectives. We received the second quarter sales tax from the county at the end of the month, and then we'll have a better sense of where we are with the sales tax revenue that we really depend on. And we'll begin our budgeting process next month, which I can't believe we're here in August. Most of you know that 5 years ago, we passed a law mandating that we have to pass the budget before the election. Whatever date the election is, it has to get passed before that, and that was because the prior administration, upon losing the election, changed the budget without the rest of the town board knowing, and certainly the citizens didn't know, which resulted in a 60% shortfall in our tax levy. So we have that law in place, and it actually makes our job more difficult as far as time goes, but that's what we're set to do, and we'll do it again. And then I just noticed it appears that the laundromat is open. Okay, so at this point, I'd like to open privilege of the floor. If you have something you want to address to the town board, please just go up to the podium so you can be recorded and state your name and address for Rita Mary. Kathy.
Kathy Zier, 158 Shelley Hill Road. I have 2 questions based on your newsletter that came out today. Number 1, you're saying that we have money to pay for the ambulance for the next 3 years, correct? So there'll be no charge for the ambulance service?
The only thing I want to discuss with both the grantor and with the board is we could pay full out for 3 years and then go way back up. Mm-hmm. Or we could take the gift that we were given and we're getting it in increments, and we could cut it in half each year, mm-hmm. which would still lower it by 50%, but we could string out the raise in taxes for 6 years instead of 3. So we still have to figure that out.
Okay. Second comment is just regarding Route 82. There's a lot of history behind 82, why it keeps breaking up. Mm-hmm. Underneath is a concrete road. Mm-hmm. And the concrete road is probably 3 or 4 feet thick. When I was growing up, it was narrow. So when they widened the road, they did not create any more subsurface. So if you look at where 82 cracks,
yeah.
It's where the cement road ends.
That makes sense.
That makes so much sense.
So there's no quick fix.
Yeah.
No.
Well, this won't be
That's why
they've been doing the quick fixes, which is just
Quick fixes last 5 or 6 years.
if that, Kathy. And
Right, so that's the whole problem behind it. To really get it fixed correctly will never happen in our lifetime.
Well, that's what the capital expense would be.
Yeah.
So-
Right,
So
right.
they budget every year to do significant roadway changes like that.
Right,
But they have a list in District 8
right,
for the
right.
DOT, so.
And we've been,
we've been
piecemealed
shortchanged.
forever.
Yes.
And it's going to continue that way unless they
Yes.
go in and just mill up the entire
And trucks,
surface.
cars are heavier.
Well,
Does it go for the whole way? How long
They've
does it
done
go
it for the
for?
southern part.
How long does that go for?
The whole way.
16 and a half
From-
miles.
Hope-
So the total,
Troop K all the
the
way
total
up.
length
Okay.
of 82 is
Yeah.
16 and a half, but it goes past 44. So it goes from 199
Right.
down through the
Hopewell.
Burbank area.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's a
And that part
16
is
and a
really
half.
bad, too.
Well, it's better though, because
Not as bad as ours.
They did an overhaul on that a couple of years ago.
Each year a section gets fixed a little
gets-
bit, but
yeah.
just so you know that it's not going to be an easy fix on the budget.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a state budget.
Apparently,
multi-million-dollar
our
effort.
District 8, has historically been shortchanged for
Mhm.
a large number of years, and I think that, well, my hope is that with the senator and the assemblywoman behind this, that we'll actually get a substantial amount budgeted
Right.
so they can do it correctly.
And my last question is about the speed trailers.
The what?
The speed trailers.
Yeah.
Oh.
Why are they sitting for 2 weeks in front of one person's property?
We are waiting for a permit from the county to get them back where they actually
They're
belong.
on a town road right now.
I know that. They're on a town road because our permit ran out from the county on the county road where they were
But it's from
sitting.
one end, it's across one property.
You'd have
So
to talk to
I just
the
think
hu-
it's not a good use of the town resource, that's all.
Thank you. That's a kind of a Jim Myers issue, but I do believe that as soon as we get our permit back, they're going to go in front of the church again, because
Yeah, that's a good spot.
it seems like that's the best spot in town. Okay, anyone else?
Thank you. Michael Roach, 2728 Salt Point Turnpike. Regarding at several previous workshop meetings regarding the short-term rental law that you're proposing, you and several board members indicated the town of Stanford had 52 Airbnbs operating. When was that data last updated?
It's updated by Granicus. The county gets a subscription to Granicus, and so they provide that information to the municipalities. Give me 1 second to open that
Sure.
data up, if you don't mind. Let's see. Yeah. So, this was from November 2024.
Makes sense.
We
So
had our
it's-
meeting in November 2024 with them, so this was November 2024.
So, and it could have been a couple of months old then, so it could be.
I don't think so. The county looks at it every month, and so they pull this on an ongoing basis. They want to present the most updated data to us. It's in their
So
best
it's at
interest.
least 8 months old now, correct?
Yes, correct.
but yet you're going by that 52. You don't think that there's been any new Airbnbs operating
Well, we're
since
adding
then?
a cushion on top of that. The 51 is the existing number, but at the moment, the way the law is drafted, it's 55, so.
So it's 51, and we put in the cushion for
And
55.
they won't give us the list with the addresses until we pass the law,
Yeah.
which makes no sense.
How'd you come up with that number,
What number?
55?
We just thought. we would-
10% above the actual, so room for growth.
So to give you some.
So out of 1,800, and correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't you say at the workshop that the planning board recommended no cap being imposed?
Yeah, they did, and we discussed it, and we don't always agree with the planning board.
Correct.
And we feel as a board, after having looked at other policies and talking about what our goals were, that we wanted a cap. I mean, the planning board suggests things, and sometimes we agree with them, and sometimes we don't. They're advisory, so,
So you're not gonna go by the planning board's advice?
no,
No.
no, not in this case.
We're not obligated to.
Well,
Okay,
besides
thank you.
that, it's, I mean, they have their views on things, and we have ours, and we listen, and then we make our decision.
And there was a lot of data that went into this. First and foremost, the inventory of longer-term rentals in town, which has gone down considerably in the last 2 decades. It's gone down about, I want to say 25%. That information's in the comprehensive plan. It's readily available. So we wanted to be very mindful of that number as well, and continuing to make the town accessible and affordable in terms of long-term renters, those that cannot afford to buy a home. That's a real important growth factor for our town. And so that was the impetus behind the ADU law. That's the impetus behind the cap in the STR law. So there was a lot of, a lot of thought that went into it.
I appreciate the thought. So earlier you said that you'd like to keep young people in town. What about the possibility that they need to offset their income to stay in town? So if they needed to come up to 56 or?
You know what, I actually think maybe these comments might be better when we hold the public
Yeah.
hearing, instead of having a public hearing with you right now.
Okay, just one other question. I understand that $50,000 was budgeted for a zoning consultation.
It's for the zoning commission.
Okay, were any of their recommendations followed in this STR ruling?
They didn't do the STR ruling. They're not doing all of, we can't afford to have them write all of our legislation. What their first task was to take our entire, and it was a big task, to take our entire zoning book, find inconsistencies so that one thing didn't contradict another, and then reorganize the way it's going to be, it's going to be put together. That was their first major task. And that was what I just described a minute ago. The next, when they start picking up legislation, the first bill that we're going to ask them to help us with is the zoning piece of the right to farm law. Or actually, it's not the right to farm law. It's just farming law. So they will get around to doing more ordinances with us, but their first task didn't have to do with specific laws.
So what's the rush in the STR? Because I understand that.
I'm sorry,
the,
I should have told you,
Yeah,
when we do
3-minute time
this,
limit.
it's not, it's, you.
Well, you've used up most of my time here.
I'm so sorry.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Woo! Okay. I would like to, is there anyone else who'd like to discuss? Okay, then. I make a motion to open the public hearing on the right to farm law, local law number 4.
Second.
Bob, do you want to say anything further about the right to farm law?
Could I have a second on opening?
I second
Nathan,
it.
Nathan, didn't
Sorry,
hear you.
Nathan.
Sorry.
Sorry.
We didn't vote.
All in favor?
Aye.
Because she didn't know anyone seconded it.
That's true. I heard you.
So for those of you who have been following the right to farm law, we had a very extensive public hearing 2 months ago?
2 months ago.
Took a lot of feedback, really helpful feedback, and we basically redid the whole law so that it is simply a statement of that Stanford is a right to farm town and explains the components of that. It had been, it's a, what is it now, a 5-page? 6, well, this part doesn't count.
Yeah, doesn't count.
It was a preamble.
Anyway, it was a 17-page Bible, and now it is a 7-page document. It has been up on the website. It has been reviewed by the planning board and the county, yeah? Or the county didn't?
Originally.
Yeah.
The previous version was reviewed. This does not include the zoning components, so it
Correct.
didn't need to be.
Right. So that's basically the right to farm law. Does anyone want to speak to it or about it?
Don't forget the signs.
What about the signs? They're in the law.
Right, the signs are in the law,
Kathy?
which will be posted.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that the original law was very convoluted, very poorly written, and I really want to commend the 3 citizens that came forward and spent a lot of time eliminating all the areas of controversy. There was no zoning consultant input to that law, and I think that Mark Burdick, I believe it was Curtis, and I don't remember the other gentleman's name,
Dennis.
that spoke up
Yeah.
and did a lot of work for free,
Well,
hours.
and
And I do
It
think
was greatly appreciated.
that this is a eye-opener, that as you go forward with future laws, it's not a want list, it's not a wish list, it's a legal list. And I think that's what Mark Burdick brought out in many instances. So I think they need to be commended to preventing the town from passing a disastrous law.
Well, I think that's why we have public hearings, Kathy, you know, and
And workshops.
yeah, and the workshop that we had specifically. I think Tom Angel is very frustrated because he keeps putting out laws with the zoning commission and then we keep redoing them, but that's because it's a process.
the process.
And we took all of that feedback to heart. And I think we have a much better law now. So anyway, well, we don't even have the right to farm zoning piece of it. All we have is this basically codifying the right to farm. Anyone else? Nope. Okay, then I will make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so now, local law number 4 of 2025, the right to farm law. Do I simply need to make a motion? What resolution is this one? What number? This is D?
7D.
Okay.
Yeah.
7D, and it's local law number 4.
Yep.
So first I'll make a motion to adopt local law number 4.
I'll second it.
Is there any further discussion?
No.
Rita?
Wendy Bergner?
Yes.
It's not my order, so just pay attention. Nathan LaVertue,
Yes.
Julia Dakota,
Yes.
Eric Hames,
Yes.
Teddy Seacliff. Not
Yes.
too bad, though.
You'll have to give me your order
I
next
will,
time.
I will.
Is it, oh, it's alphabetical.
Well, yes or no?
Yes and no. Close enough.
Now I would like to reintroduce the new iteration of the short-term rental law, as well as setting a public hearing for August 14th. And this would be Resolution 7E to reintroduce local law number 5, short-term rental law. And Bob, do you want to speak to the changes that we made at the workshop after getting the feedback from our informal town workshop?
Yes. We, there were several comments that were advanced during the process, and discussed both at the special meeting on June 26th, and then further considered at at Monday's workshop. One comment which had been raised by Kathy Zeyer before was that the previous draft limited short-term rentals to properties that were principally single-family residence properties. We've expanded that to include duplex, two-family houses, multiple dwellings, or multiple use properties containing a residence. We clarified the provisions on the application process to clarify that first consideration will be given to the existing operating applicants who are registered with the county prior to the effective date of the law, and they have 90 days within which to make applications. Then further applications will be considered on a first-come, first-served basis until we reach the limit of 55 permits, and there will be separate permits for each unit. An individual owner can hold more than one permit if they have more than one STR unit, or if they have multiple properties. We clarified and streamlined the application process to make that easier and reduce the number of documents that the applicant would have to submit. Let's see. We clarified the provisions regarding responsible, the owner of the property is the responsible party and is the permit holder, and they might also have They might also designate a responsible representative or a management company to, that would receive, that would have contact information that the occupants of the STR could contact, or that the town could contact if needed. We eliminated the requirement in our law that the STR permit holder have a written contract with the occupant of the STR, because a lot of those contracts are done directly through Airbnb or whatever other booking service they may use. We made some other technical changes. We clarified the procedures that the zoning enforcement officer might take in the event of violations, or if there are deficiencies in the STR unit. We also clarified the transitional periods for people who have been operating an STR before the adoption of our local law. Any bookings that they have made prior to the effective date of the local law are grandfathered. After the effective date of the local law, people can continue to make bookings provided that the owner applies for the permit within 90 days. But it's at the owner's risk at that point that they have to make, if they don't make application within the 90-day period, or if for some reason the application is denied, the owner has to bear the risk that the booking may have to be canceled. And I think that's
We also.
pretty much it.
Well, we also minimized some of the language of the compliance and penalties, and then we reordered the penalties
Yes.
based in increasing the severity.
Right.
That was another thing we've done.
So all in all, it's quite a bit streamlined from the previous proposal, and the process of going through first this informal hearing that we did, and having the subsequent evaluation of the comments. All of the comments were welcome and constructive, and we think the product, the final version, is improved as a result.
Well, what we did was, instead of having a draft law and immediately introducing it at the way the process usually works, we had a special meeting that was an informal public workshop. And people came and spoke their minds, and we took notes, and that's where a lot of these changes came from. Okay, so then, thank you, Bob. So,
I need a vote.
Yeah, you need a.
Yeah.
Did you get a second from the introduction?
I did not.
Second.
Thank you. Wendy Burton,
second privilege of the floor. Yes.
Nathan LaVirtue,
Yes.
Julie Dakota,
Yes.
Eric Ames,
Yes.
Teddy Secor.
Yes.
Great, thank you.
And the public hearing,
Is going to be set for August 14th.
Can I request that that's recorded? So it won't be here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, it's a regular, I think that's the,
I know.
It's always going to be recorded.
I mean, it's a
Okay, I just
regular
wanna make
meeting.
sure.
Yeah,
Okay,
no,
all right.
it's not a special day.
Do the special day 'cause we're having a meeting.
Okay.
We're on it.
that's September.
Here we go, 14th.
Yeah.
So Julia Julia has spearheaded the water quality initiative, and would you like to take over?
Yes.
Okay.
As Wendy mentioned, the Water Quality Committee is going to be formed to, in its simplest form, assess the quality of the water in town. That was done 30 years ago for over 30 years. Actually, less than 30, right now, over 30 years ago, 33 years ago. 1992, the water was tested. The town at that point had partnered with a engineering firm called Horsley and Witten to undertake that work. There was a tremendous amount of discovery work that was done in the beginning of that project to define the problem and scope the problem. And so it was initially scoped as a 8-part problem, and it was scoped down due to funding to a 4-part problem. That same sort of problem definition is going to take place at the start of the Water Quality Committee's work to basically define the scope. What does the committee want to do? Assess the quality, and I've heard as well there are no detailed studies of the amount of water under the ground right now. So there are no detailed studies on the aquifers that we have running under our town. We know that nearly everybody in town is supplied water via private well. And 30 years ago, there was a test of 48 wells in town across all of the districts in the town, agricultural and rural residential, as well as commercial district. The findings at that time they really tested for 2 things, and the findings at that time found that for those 2 things that they tested for, which were nitrates and chlorides, coliform, thank you, Diane. I am not a water expert, but I've learned a lot over the last several months. Nitrates are from pesticides, potentially, agricultural runoff, and chlorides are from septic. There were not found to be elevated levels of chlorides and nitrates that would have necessitated any form of significant remediation, but there was a recommendation plan that was submitted to the town for things like the highway department, things like the town hall, rec department, in terms of basically safeguarding the water that sits directly under the town's supplies. From a rural residential perspective, there were no zoning changes that were enacted. There were no significant restrictions that were put on landowners as a result of this water quality testing. Now, in line with the comprehensive plan, which was a recommendation to form a water quality committee and again go through that same process. This is happening all over the state, and there are various organizations that have actually reached out to us to partner on these sort of initiatives, because rural communities like ours represent a really important component of the public drinking water system. About 3/4, is it 3/4 or 25% of the water supply is from the Wappinger Creek water system? I think it's in the comprehensive plan. But there's a significant amount of water supply that is contributed by the Wappingers Creek watershed, which runs through basically our entire town. So this work is really, really important. We've had the posting for interested individuals to step up and have their water tested, as well as those who want to serve in a committee function. And I was really blown away by the CVs and resumes that we received. Retired marine biologist from California, a member of the DEC, an ecologist who's a member of the CAC, members of the CSC, and then former employees of IBM who want to serve in administrative functions and really make sure that we present data to the community in the most accurate way possible. So
75%.
Thank you. 75%, that's a lot. 75.
That's a lot. It's hard to see from here, but
Zoom in, Nathan.
This is the best I can do. There's green, orange, and purple, and the green is the Wappingers Creek watershed.
so it's pretty significant.
Thank you.
We have an audio-visual component.
I know. So the initial period of serving will be 2 years on this committee. Anyone from the public will be welcome to attend these meetings, and information will be posted on the town website as well as the supervisor's weekly email. So to that end, I want to make a motion to appoint Dennis Wedlick, Anthony Jones, and I can send this to you, Rita, Suzanne Zaitowski, Ildi Babrick, and Natalie O'Malley to the Water Quality Committee, and appoint Tara Grogan as a special liaison to the committee, and Julia Dakota as the town board liaison.
Second.
That's
All in
good.
favor?
Resolution 7F.
7F.
Oh, we're doing this by resolution?
Yeah.
Okey dokey. All right, so Wendy Burton,
Yes.
Julie Dakota,
Yes.
Eric Hames,
Yes.
Nathan Virtue,
Yes.
Teddy Secor.
Yes.
I'm just thrilled that you've got this together.
I'm super psyched. There's lots of funding opportunities. We can go very wide and very deep on it. There's a lot of ways to go, so, and it's really critically important for the future of the community, so.
Great. Now, I would like to, well, Eric, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about your professional
Sure.
life?
I am a real estate appraiser licensed in 4 states. I deal with New York City zoning and zonings of other municipalities as part of my job as an appraiser. I also testify as an expert witness and do litigation and arbitration work. So I'm also served on the Zoning Board of Appeals of the Village of Bronxville for about 12 years in Westchester County.
Thank you. So we had 2 openings on the zoning commission. Barbara Warren moved to Japan, and Steve Godovich has stepped down to make his life simpler. So I would like to appoint Eric Hames to the zoning commission.
I'll second it.
And I guess he'll be filling Steve Godovich's term.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
And Kathy, there's one more opening.
No pressure.
No pressure. It's okay, she's,
No pressure.
oh, the Recreation Committee, the Recreation Campaign Committee, and just again, for those of you who haven't been here, we have a rec commission, which is an advisory commission to the town, and is, its purview is everything that happens at the rec. And then we have a rec campaign committee, which began 5 years ago?
August
Four we did the-
2021?
When Everett Cook came to me and said he wanted pickleball courts in the town. And I said, well, great, but we can't afford them. So Everett started a committee and raised funds and made us pickleball courts, and, which was just stunning. And then we expanded that little seed of a committee to become the Rec Campaign Committee, which has done extraordinary work for this town. They have, how much did we get spent on Spark Park?
$525,000 of
Not a penny was taxpayer money. We got grants.
private donations
We
and
got,
grants.
we got donations,
Yeah.
and then 200 people or 400 hands got together.
More. I mean, it was incredible, and people still continue to come.
Yes, and here. But anyway, so the Rec Campaign Committee, my point is just that it's a separate entity. It's not actually a town committee. It operates outside of the town, but we handle the funds because it's actually our land and our operations. But it's separate from the Rec Commission. So Julia.
Yeah, so Everett and Helen Cook, who Wendy mentioned, have been an integral part of the committee, and same way as Steve Godovich wants to enjoy his life, they want to enjoy their life. They have multiple grandkids, but they are very, obviously very attached to the committee. So we're not going to be making any hasty appointments to the committee, but we will be taking in
letters of interest to serve on the Rec Campaign Committee. The function will be fundraising. That was the original intent of the campaign, but it really dovetailed into master planning for the recreation center. So starting with pickleball courts, tennis courts, playground rebuild in 2024. That opened up the ability for us to open a summer camp this year. We have funds coming back from New York State, which we will be putting towards making accessible walking paths around the town, expanding, not around the town, around the rec, connecting the rec to more of the businesses in the city, in the town center. So Big Rock, the library, just making it more walkable. People are already doing it. There's already paths there, but making it more walkable. A lot of our rental units in town are also located in the center of town, so making it more accessible to young families and safer. Creating tree plantings, and then in the long term, things like a splash pad or a dog park or whatever the town wants. We've been taking the money that we've been getting from grants, we've been taking the money that we've been getting from private donations, and we've been putting that into basically back to the community to say, what do we want? What do we keep wanting to do? And the community has been very engaged. We have over 800 people on the mailing list, and 500 people in the social media list, and the town has gotten a lot of notoriety from other towns for the playground and the pickleball courts and everything that's going on. So it's a really fun role, and so Rita will have some, we'll have a flyer in the town clerk's office, and Wendy will be putting it in the newsletter as well.
Do you want me to post an ad in the paper?
No.
I think they want
But Patrick can post an ad in the Pine Plains Herald.
I think they want to post some down at the rec itself.
Yeah.
The only thing is that we need to put in language that says that it's for residents only.
Okay.
Perfect.
The way that the committee has worked has been so focused on engaging the community. I mean, Julia must have had, I don't know how many workshops you had where we were getting input for the colors of what they wanted the Spark Park to be, what components they wanted it. Yes, we want a zip line. No, we don't want a dunk tank. I made that up.
You made that up.
I made that up.
Would be fun for Community Day, though.
Yeah, well, I've heard about it for Community Day, dunk the supervisor. That's opposed to the kissing booth, which nobody wants. Okay, but anyway, the amount, I just have a tremendous amount of admiration and gratitude for the way that committee has comported itself and deeply engaged the community in the projects.
And a huge thank you to Jane Cottrell, who has been just literally a godsend in administering so much of the back-end paperwork that needed to take place for the grant.
Grants are a blessing because of the gifts they bestow on us, and they're a nightmare as far as the paperwork and administration.
And Lauren Osterman, obviously, who is not here, but she's
our rock star.
Superhero.
Okay, thank you. So now we just have some resolutions. Resolution 7A of 2025, authorizing Saratoga Associates to provide plans for landscaping at the park. Saratoga Associates is the design firm that we've worked with on Spark Park, and they've been an integral part of growing our rec. So, whereas the town of Stanford created Capital Project H40 Rec Campaign Committee for future capital improvements, and whereas the town of Stanford pays invoices utilizing funds raised by the Stanford Rec Campaign on the expenses they incur, and whereas the town of Stanford has a contract from Saratoga Associates to prepare plans for landscaping at the park, and whereas the town wishes to pay Saratoga Associates invoices from Capital Project H40 Rec Campaign Committee, now therefore be it resolved, the supervisor is authorized to sign a contract with Saratoga Associates and pay all invoices from Capital Project H40 Rec Campaign Committee, and be it further resolved, the supervisor is authorized to use funds from H40 Rec Campaign Committee Capital Project, which is a New York class account, to pay $8,900 to Saratoga Associates for landscaping plans at the rec park.
Second.
Thank you.
Wendy Burton,
Yes?
Judy Dakota,
Yes.
Eric Ames,
Yes.
Nathan LaVertue,
Yes.
Eddie Secor.
Yes.
Could you read 17?
Yep. So the next resolution,
Louder.
I'm just getting settled and I wasn't prepared to speak all of a sudden. The next resolution is to transfer funds from one funding account to another for an unanticipated vehicle expense. So this is Resolution 7B of 2025, authorized transfer of funds from Fund 16 Highway Vehicle Reserve to Fund 01 Highway General Fund for unanticipated vehicle repairs. Whereas the town of Stanford previously created Fund 16 Highway Vehicle Reserve, and whereas the Highway Department had the need for unanticipated repairs to a 2012 International for $42,018.92, and whereas the town of Stanford needs to modify the budget to transfer $42,018.92 from Fund 16 Highway Vehicle Reserve Fund to Fund 01 Highway General Fund, whereas the town needed to pay Junior's diesel repair for the unanticipated repairs, now therefore be it resolved, the supervisor is authorized to transfer $42,018.92 from Fund 16 to Fund 0. Be it further resolved, the supervisor is authorized to make the following budget amendments.
You
And
don't
it
have
has,
to read
yeah, it
them.
just has a bunch of line
Account
items
numbers.
that are moving the funds around.
I'll second it.
Wendy Burton,
Yes.
Judy Dakota,
Yes.
Eric Ames,
Yes.
Nathan LaVertue,
Yes.
Eddie Secor.
Yes.
And Resolution 7C of 2025 to provide account codes for Resolutions 5A, 5B, and 5C of 2025. Whereas budget modification resolutions were passed in May without the identifying budget codes, now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Stanford approves of the following codes to be applied to Resolutions 5A, 5B, and 5C of 2025 to be input by the town bookkeeper.
Second.
Thank you.
Wendy Burton,
Yes.
Judy Dakota,
Yes.
Eric Ames.
Yes.
Nathan LaVertue,
Yes.
I'd like to make
Eddie Secor.
Oh,
Did I
sorry.
get everybody? I
Yeah.
did. Eric Ames, yeah, okay, we got him.
And yes.
Yes. You got us both.
Good.
Teddy, how do you feel about that one?
Being forgotten, yes, that's made me feel great.
No, I didn't forget him.
I just interrupted, it was all me.
Yes.
It's true.
It's true. I'd like to make a motion to accept the minutes of June 12th, regular meeting, and the June 26th.
Could we do them
We have to do
separately,
it
please?
separate.
Oh, okay, sorry.
It's okay.
Okay, so the first one is June 12th. Accept the minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Were you not here?
Abstain, yeah.
And I'd like to make a motion to accept the
I
minutes.
was not here either.
Oh, that's right. Accept the minutes of the June 26th special meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Rita, I have to abstain. I wasn't
Yep.
present.
I got you too.
Thank you.
Okay. I'd like to make a motion to approve of the abstract number 7 for July. The general fund spent $94,924.34. Highway was $132,926.22. Bengal Lighting was $977.77. Planning Board escrow, $4,705.25. Ambulance was $62,500, and the capital fund is $8,900.
Second.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. With no other business, I'll explain, I will open up the second privilege of the floor. So if you didn't have time to finish what you were saying in the first privilege, you can come back up and speak at the second privilege. Normally, it's a time when people just talk to us and we don't answer. We're just here to listen. But if we're asked specific questions and we can answer them, we will. And we ask you to take, are we at 3 minutes?
3 minutes.
3 minutes.
Teddy's so good at that.
Yeah.
I'll time it.
But anyway, so I would now open the second privilege of the floor. Claudia.
Jane, you got shut down.
Wow.
You did an extra
Jane was
squat.
almost there.
Price is right over here. Wants to run down.
Jane, come on down.
Candy in my mouth. Claudia DeBellis, Charwell Drive. I think it was sometime over the winter I came to say that Charwell Drive, the road is a wreck-a-rooney. It still is. I did send a letter recently to the Highway Department, and I think I sent you a copy, requesting, again, please, to have it repaved. The edges are eroding deeply, and we have potholes. And gosh, if you drive up at night, you have to be extremely careful. I mean, you really almost have to go 15 miles an hour. It's bad. So just saying, it's not any better.
Thank you, Claudia. Jane.
Thank you.
What was that?
Well, Jade Cottrell, 5951 Route 82, Stanfordville. I'm not sure whether to do this or not. Do I embarrass the boss, or do I make sure the record is on the money? We talked about the speed signs, and I just want to clarify that the permit application that is pending with New York State, not the county. And the application is for the positions on Route 82, which is a state road, not a county road that we had before. You
Right.
forgive me?
I said, no, I said county, but it's definitely a state road. Yeah,
To
thank
renew
you,
those
Jane.
annually or biannually?
We didn't know
Or-
we had to renew it. But we were told we had to renew it, so we're renewing it.
It's a pain.
And it's also, those things, I think we will try to keep it in place on Route 82 because it's where, people speed everywhere, but that comes right into downtown, and it's a good spot for it. And the highway guys have to reprove it and move it, so it's kind of nice when it gets to stay put for a little while. Anyone else? Yes.
Feel free to tell me to direct this to an email, but my name is Nicole Katz. We are new to the area. We are on
I'm sorry, what's your name?
Give me your name again.
Nicole Katz.
Cats.
We're on Bulls Head
K-A-T-Z?
Road. Yes, K-A-T-Z. On Bulls Head. New to the area, so this is my first time.
Welcome.
Thank you. I do have a question, which is just in relationship to the STR with the 55. We would be one of the people who have registered in the past 8 months. And just wondering, in the event that it comes back and there are 65 people who are registered, is there a possible reconsideration of the number? And again, you can feel free to direct me to email you.
No, you don't have to email. We intend to keep reviewing that, but
Yeah.
Bob, you can speak to it.
There is a provision in the local law that would allow the town board to change the number by
Okay.
resolution.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And welcome.
Thank you. You welcome.
Susan. That was a deep sigh.
It's the microphone. That's the problem. Okay, let me see if I can remember what I was going to ask now. All right.
Name and address?
No. Oh, yeah, name and address. I don't need to ask that. I actually know that. Actually. Susan Mansell, 80 East Huns Lake Road, Stanfordville. Okay, so my question is, the last time we came to the meeting about the short-term rental, it was discussed that August 14th was when the law would go into effect after the vote. But you also mentioned an extension into September. Did I misunderstand
No,
that?
The September date was when originally New York State had said that we had to get our bill passed before that.
Right.
I think the 25th. And then when I saw Michelle yesterday in my office. Tuesday. Good grief.
Whenever.
I thought I was the literal one.
You're on your toes.
So anyway, that date did move to December. We have the leeway to wait till December, But unless there's horrific reasons not to, we'd like to just move forward and pass the bill.
Okay, so if I have people already booked to November 1st, I'm good.
You're fine.
You're good.
Okay, so now I don't know if I registered. I don't think I did. But if Airbnb is paying the town, I should be registered. I should be on the list. What do
We
you
don't
say about
We don't
already
get paid.
being registered?
We don't receive any revenue
County
from
gets it.
Airbnb. It's I believe, the county and this.
Oh, it goes to the county.
It goes to the county in
Like
terms
county
of
taxes.
occupancy tax, exactly.
Right.
And so the fee schedule and the application that we're going to be releasing is going to be specific to town permitting. And that's what's included in this STR law. So there will be a fee associated with a first-time permit, and then the renewal will be a fee. That's every 2 years. So once you are granted a permit, it's very standard across every town, basically. You can see it from Maine to Hawaii. It's all public record, too. You can look at the permitting fees from other towns and the applications. It's all public record. So once that law is passed, we will go through a similar exercise where we've already gathering proxies from other towns. We're gathering all of the applications. And there are, we mentioned Granicus, there are services like Granicus that will help also, that could help to administer the, basically the entire process. We have to factor we have to factor in the incremental costs of building inspection. All these units that are applied for need to be inspected. Obviously, a lot of them have COs, but some of them are quite old. And so there'll be a checklist that the building inspector will be following to determine whether or not they meet the criteria.
So what you're saying is there is a fee, but not a percentage of the rental due to the
no.
town?
Yeah.
It's a
No.
one-time fee?
Correct.
Well,
Every 2 years?
Yeah,
Yeah, but
exactly.
once every 2 years, there's a fee?
But there is a percentage of your stay that will go to, that already goes to the state.
To the state, right, but not
Not
in
to us.
addition to
The
the town?
No.
No.
The county.
Yeah, it's the county. not the
County,
saying the state,
county,
county.
okay, county.
And it's a state road, not a county road.
Get all that straight,
But
right?
no, it's pretty standard, Susan. If you look at other towns and other states, it really depends on how much also they do. And you can tell where, towns, some of them update those fee schedules all the time. Some of them have very rigorous inspection processes. Usually that follows some form of incident in the town, where they legislate as a result of that incident. Right now, our legislation is based off of the fact that we've had 0 incidents, right?
That's good.
So far, that we know of, right? But this process is obviously going to be one where we update the local law, every year, every 2 years. And to Bob's point, we can always change the cap on the units with a resolution.
Yeah.
So,
That's under the assumption that the state doesn't do anything or the county doesn't.
yeah,
They
there's
could-
all sorts
They
of
could
stuff.
supersede that at any
Yeah,
point.
there's all sorts of stuff happening at the state level, nothing at the federal level, but it is, it's a pretty hot topic in the state of New York. So,
Sure.
yeah.
So my last question is, so then on August 14th, you will vote on this, and then how soon after that moment will we have are they going to be on the website?
We likely won't vote on it on the 14th. That's
You
just a
won't
pub-
vote it on the 14th? Oh,
That's a public hearing.
It's the public hearing.
So that will be further comment that we will take from the public, and then we will continue to revise it.
Okay,
Hopefully try
okay.
to finalize it from that.
okay.
Well,
That's good.
if
We
we.
could.
Well, hopefully
we
not,
could,
because
but-
we
Yeah.
had that.
said you want to do it sooner, so I'm
Right,
trying
but
to determine what you mean
it
by
really
that.
depends what comes up at the public hearing, if it's earth-shattering, if it's something that we absolutely haven't considered, or that it just blows us away.
Could I say something more
Please
about
do.
the?
Please do, Bob.
I'm sorry, about the scheduling. This deadline is actually part of the state's law, the law that the state legislature adopted, which says that if a locality wants to adopt a registry, we have to do it within, I think they provided that it's 275 days from the effective date of the state's law. Now, I'm I think there is a question about when the state law becomes effective, because Michelle Hinchy told you, Wendy, December, but there are a couple of sites. There's a site from the state Senate online that uses the September 22nd date,
She said they moved it.
but
I think it was her law.
but I'm also told that there was no further change in the law. So I think it's something we need to look into further and be absolutely sure about these deadlines.
Okay.
We may still be working under this September 22nd deadline.
Well, I don't know who to ask if they said December and the website says September. I don't know who would make the deciding. I mean, who should we ask?
Well, we could go back to, I was talking with her legislative aide, and he's been responsive. I could ask him to verify it.
Well, you can tell him what Michelle said.
I will.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
see what he says.
How does my mailing to the Secretary of State factor into all this?
That would govern the effective date of our law.
Yeah. But not
Yeah,
when.
not state law.
So when the town,
If we enact it.
assuming that the town board adopts our local law, then before it becomes effective, Rita has to file it with the Secretary of State's office. And it's not effective until she does that. That takes a few days, probably.
About 2 weeks.
Okay.
Anyone else?
Just one.
Okay, then. I will close the second privilege of the floor and make a motion to adjourn, and thank you all for coming.
I'll second the motion to close.
Ooh, all in favor?
All in favor?
Aye. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
So